As a side note, after all the pleasantries are done, you find out this man's name is Asir Pashar. So we have Zashir and Asir.
Of course. Well, they seem to be crawling in that other district we tried to get through. Maybe we should return there. Maybe even tonight still. I'm not sure. Inza, are you up for it? Do your medics?
Yes. I could stay behind this time.
Yes, you should.
I mean, I don't know. There is like an entire city worth of guards patrolling the streets looking for the same people as, they were already looking for people who a house and had killed a bunch of slaves. And now, as far as they're aware, that entire district we just ran through is also now aware of a bunch of people coming through and killing some people that the guards are now looking for.
I'm sure Tyr will protect us.
I wouldn't push our luck.
I just shake my head like...
Garzhvog doesn't put his trust in deities. I'd rather guarantee our survival by not making stupid decisions.
I taste Valerion.
Careful.
As you are discussing amongst yourselves about the best course of action, you see Asir looks at his father and starts looking around. He mentions to one of his girls as she's passing through, and you hear the girl go, "No, I didn't see anyone else come in." And he leans forward and he goes, "Father, where's Atala?" And Bashar just kind of, for a very tanned man, he goes white in the face and he looks down at his cushion. He just goes, that might be part of the problem. And he goes, "Father, well, what do you mean?" And Bashar, after licking his lips and kind of hemming and hawing about it, he goes, "Well, it seems your sister's eloped."
What?
Mm-hmm. So pop that name on here, Atala. There we go. His son doesn't take that too well, hearing that his sister is now off somewhere. And after a brief little yelling match, he storms off to another portion of his house, and you're just left with the elder Pashar.
What was this about, Pashar?
I think they're flipping out about the younger dude's sister leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're asking him in care. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He looks a little bit ashamed. He looks a little ashamed and he goes, "Well, to be honest, when I was looking for help, it wasn't just to deal with the thugs. That wasn't a major concern of mine. I was looking for people I could trust to help me with a more personal matter. You see, my daughter, my only other child, she disappeared a couple weeks ago. And I say disappear, but she ran off with a man. And I haven't heard anything from her. And I'm worried to death because if anything's been, like, around the time she left is when these thugs started showing up. And I think she got herself involved with the wrong sort of man."
Is there... Are we sitting on the floor or something?
Still sitting on the cushions.
Is there like a... What? Or actually, I'm gonna take out my dagger and thrust it into an empty pillow in front of me.
So,
With all the questions we asked, you failed to mention this?
Well, it's a family matter. I didn't want to bring other people into it that didn't need to be into it. I wasn't quite sure yet if you all could be trusted, but I know that now. I know I can trust you all.
Did you see what all we had to do for you?
Exactly, and
I
now
think
I
we're
know.
in it now, aren't we?
Absolutely, and
Well, we should...
Absolutely, you're fucked, yes.
and hopefully you can help me find my daughter.
Maybe we should just leave you here and get away from this place.
He looks very worried when you start mentioning something. Like, he goes, but I have money. My son has money. We can pay you whatever we need to pay you whatever you want. I need to find my daughter.
I have to agree with Fate. The job was 50 gold for killing those stags. If you want to give us a new job, you need more money.
Absolutely, completely. I understand. I'll need to talk to my son about that. You've seen what happened. I don't exactly have the money right now.
I've seen what happened.
Like, you see Valerion looking puzzled, like on the floor, like, what would Tyr want from me?
Shut up already with Tyr.
You mock my god!
I take a dice, because I have a dice in my backpack, and I throw you the dice to you, and like I say, like, throw this, and if it falls on a 1, then you're fucked, and Tyr doesn't like you.
Spare me your games,
Try.
blind one.
Try.
I do not believe in chance, there's purpose.
It's an old secret my mother told me about. She was a very powerful
Careful.
fortune teller. Try it.
I just sheathed my dagger. So then tell us who left with your daughter.
Well, that's sort of the thing. I don't know. Otherwise, I'd be able to find her. Let me start from the beginning. About a month and a half ago.
Don't leave anything out.
Absolutely. About a month and a half ago, there was a bit of a commotion going on in Calimsport. There was a very large sale of slaves going on. A lot of people were coming in from out of the country to be able to buy the very high-end sort of merchandise. And one of the people that got drawn to that was this merchant. He looked just as callous-eyed as me or my son, but this man had wealth. He had an amazing amount of money, and I don't know how it happened, but him and my daughter started seeing each other. He would come by the store every so often to say hello, talk with her, occasionally take her out. And you've got to understand, in our culture, that's not okay. You just don't come to a home and talk to someone's daughter. There's formalities. There's months of courtship with the father and the other parents and going through the brothers. There's a very elaborate system we have in place here before you start doing things like that. And he just disregarded all of them. But this man, like, he had so much money, I couldn't just tell him no. I mean, every time he'd come in there, he'd buy some of the best things I had just as a way to kill the time until my daughter came. But after a couple of weeks, she started spending more and more time with him, and then when he left, she left as well. And I can't even find out the man's name. He just fell off the face of the earth with my daughter. I haven't been able to find out anything, and I've been digging hard day after day, and it's just nothing.
You never thought of asking him for his name when he was in your shop?
I don't think you understand how much money that man was spending.
Garzhvog shakes his head.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if there was one thing, I was able to hunt down some of the old records when he was purchasing the slaves, and the only thing that ever came up was the name Kamed. But that's just a first name. That's like emotions to blame. It goes like that's like Valerion. That's like Inza. That means nothing if you don't have a last name, a surname to go on.
Hey.
It means nothing.
Shake my head.
But apart from the name Kamed, nothing ever came up.
You have any idea where we could start the search or get some clues? Anything at all? You have to know we are new to the city. Like, you live here since a generation or two?
Oh, several generations, going probably back to the Great Genie.
Very well. To just reinforce my point. So you have anything else? Or should we just walk out into the street and ask around?
Oh, Certainly not. That'll never lead you anywhere. I tried that route, but you might be able to find something out from my son. If you've obviously seen he's doing much better than me, and that's because we have differences in how we do business.
What do you mean? You do it bad and you do it good?
He looks a little slighted at that, but he goes, "No, I believe in being honest with business. If I'm going to succeed, I'm going to succeed by my own hand." My son didn't like where we were in life, and he started exploring. And I don't know if any of you know this, but Calimsport, apart from being a great city for merchants, it's also pretty well established with an underworld. Now, I've never been involved with it. I despise the idea that my son's involved with it, but he is. If you're going to look anywhere, I'd say talk to him. He might be able to point you in a direction.
Can I see Asir or Sashir? Who was the young one?
Asir?
Asir. Yeah, okay. Can I see him? Like, where did he storm off?
Yeah, he stormed off, but you could...
Under the
cancel,
room,
yes.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I stand up and then walk in the direction of Asir, and I, like, while moving out, I, like, step on the dice that, like, Inza threw at me, and, like, they just get crushed under my heavy boots. And then just walk towards Asir.
Shouldn't have happened. Fuck, now I only have like 5 dice.
I follow Valerion.
All right. So, yeah, he's
Okay,
just-
that I get that right. Like, it's how Sashir said. Like, the son never met the fella. This what was his name? Karmed or something.
Comment, yes. Let me put that in the notes as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems as though Asir, after he became a man, he seemed to have moved out, got his own establishment up and running, and he never managed to meet this guy by the name of Kamed with all the money. Actually, let me... There we go. Put a little money symbol beside his name for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very unusual, especially within the Kalashite society. It's very conservative. It's not... You don't just show up and start talking to a girl. There's a very long courtship process. There's chaperones. There's all sorts of formalities to go through. The fact that Kamed just appeared and within a couple months was able to get in very well with his daughter Atala and then disappear with her, that's... Not only is that scary, it's probably a very big mark of shame for the Bashar family.
Mm-hmm. I see. Asir, could you start any inquiries about the name? Like, your father mentioned that you might have connections to the underworld of the city. You think they could find something out and forward it to us? I don't know why, but we will go after this and rescue your daughter, hopefully, to be rewarded with a mighty shiny full blade.
Alright,
That's funny.
he thinks
Fucking
about it for a little.
paladin.
He gives it some thought and he goes, well, I want to have nothing to do with my father. If he can't keep track of my sister, then that's his problem. But, I do feel for her. I do worry about her. So how about this? I'll tell you where to look,
Yes.
but I'm not going to help.
That is fine. Wait, what?
That's technically helping, but fine.
So no full blade, I see.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, I'll reward you, but on one condition.
Yes.
When you find her, you bring her back to me, not my father. It's obviously he can't keep her in line.
Done.
All right, very well. And he leads you back a little bit further into his home.
Backstabbing paladin.
There's something of a something of a study. There's a lot of books and scrolls on the shelves, very nice, ornately done, just like everything else in the house. And he leads you up to a desk and he pulls out a quill as well as a bit of parchment, and he starts scribbling some instructions on it. And once he gets done, it's probably just a couple lines. He rips it off and he hands it to you and he says, "Listen, I need you to spend the night and think of something very dear to you. A secret, a bit of information, something. Once you have an idea of what it is, go to this place." And he hands you the little slip of paper. And he goes, "Until then, feel free to stay in my home. I'll have one of my girls escort you to some guest rooms."
Where I didn't get that. Like, what did he just do? He just gave us a paper where we can get like a wild wish or something.
Where we can go.
He didn't quite explain what it was. All he said
he
was,
didn't explain.
have an idea of something important to you, a secret, some bit of information. And when you know what that is in the morning, go to this place on the paper. As in, like, he gave you an
Okay.
address.
All right, where to ask? Okay,
Where-
but that
where
was
is
like
this?
related to the mission, basically, to get to the daughter. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Where is the address? Do you know? Is it in this area that's more wealthy, or do we have to go back to the slums?
It lists the dock ward, which is not very far away. It's right along the coast of the Shining Sea. You should be fine getting there. It's not too far, but it's the description. It doesn't even give you the name of a building. It just describes the building to you. And before you can say anything, it says, "Trust me, you'll know it when you see it."
I trust him.
All right. And with that, he wishes you a good night. And one of the girls comes in and offers to lead you all to one of the rooms.
Gratitude.
All right. So you all spend a very well rested night, and in the morning there's a very elaborate meal. But a seer doesn't come and meet you for the meal. He seems to take it in his study. Bashar does meet you, and he seems pretty put out by the fact that you're having to resort to some underhanded means to find where Kamed and his daughter Atala are.
You didn't get to ask her about her suitor. Should be ashamed. That's her father.
And his face falls just ever more.
Jerk.
How much health do you gain by sleeping?
We'll assume with the rest and everything, you all go back up to full health because you don't have any hit points anyway.
Garzhvog points out, yeah. We all make mistakes. Let's not down talk Pashar and just get this job done.
Just shake my head.
All right, now that it's the early morning of the second day, you all want to head off to that address.
We
Yeah.
should discuss what
Yeah.
we will say at the place mentioned.
What do we
Check
know
the
about
serve
this
shop.
address?
Perhaps you can tell them a story about Tyr, something from your past that inspired you, something you've kept in yourself for all this time.
I could do that, I guess. Like,
Well, then we have our.
Valerion drops off in thought, like,
Is there anything? Do you know anything about this address? At least
What was that?
Who are you asking?
anyone? I mean, I'm just asking anyone. Like, do we
Um,
know anything about this address?
Since we're new, I think we haven't been there yet.
Nope.
All right, so you all want to start making the trek over there?
Yep, let's do it.
All right.
So we don't even know like what kind of people are there, like what we're
Well,
doing.
it's in the docks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably shady people, however you
course.
put it. I mean, you would know
Why we-
that.
It's always the docks, I swear.
Someone just told us just there, like, and just
Well, he gives a clue where to look for us, right? And that's like the only thing we have to go on, unless you have a better idea.
I don't know, just
I have a good idea. This is a
Yeah?
store, so we could buy stuff here.
This particular building isn't a store. His store's a ways away.
40 gold?
Oh, never mind.
I mean, I have.
I like health potion.
do we
Yeah, I
think
think it's more.
do we
I
think
would
it
want
would
that.
help if
Should get a wand of cure light wounds.
it costs a lot? Think
Yeah.
it would help if one of us had one of those tattoo in our arm?
I'm not sure. That would just mean you're a slave. Why would they give answers to a slave?
We're
Wait,
one
sorry,
of
what
them.
did you suggest? Like, I didn't understand.
If one of us is one of those tattoos in our arm, like the slave tattoo, for you know, the weird.
Yes, go on. What? If we want to do what? Fake tattoo? Oh, no, I get it. Alright.
Gee.
Like a fake tattoo. What? I don't know. It was weird. Anyway, I am not a slave. I didn't like the act, so it was not pure. Like you noticed, since Valerion did like his first smite, like he kind of, he feels a new sense of righteousness. He like didn't experience that before. I grew up as a mercenary, etc. And it's like, wow, there's actually really divine support. So he's now becoming a bit more fanatic.
So Valerian, have you thought of something to share with the people at the building?
I'm not sure that these petty folk want to hear about the almighty Tyr, the maimed one.
I think that is not what they were looking for. Something more personal from your own experience.
What made you think that?
Well, let's say I've been around.
Like I kind of look in disbelief, like, very well. Let's just get over there and like take how things come. I'm sure if we're on the right path and if it is just, we will find a way.
All right.
What about you, Garzhvog? You seem like a particularly interesting character.
Thank you.
I guess I haven't seen you even cast a spell yet. Okay.
No, you have not.
He's a barbarian from the north.
Is there there to help this woman get back to her family?
I
Of
think
course.
he could pass as a slave, to think of it.
If that's what Garzhvog has, I just refer to myself in the third person. Wow. If that's what I have to do to help with this cause, then that's what I'll do. But yes, I have secrets of my own that can help us get to where we're going.
All right. So very different from the night before. The streets are now completely packed with people, shoulder to shoulder. There's merchants everywhere. You smell smoke, spices, all sorts of liquors. You see gems glittering in the light. It's just nothing but wealth going down the main road.
Before we leave, is there like a cloak somewhere, like at the hallway where you live his building?
Yeah, there's
Like any
cloaks.
cloak?
Mhm.
I just take one.
One of the slave cloaks and just don it and keep walking.
Yeah, just like it's nothing, like just walk, grab, put it
Like
on.
in the movies, works all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
Well, no one does seem to notice.
Yeah.
On your way out of Asir's ward where he lives, sorry. You notice those guards from the night before, and they're standing outside. And they seem to be cleaning their weapons. And just out of sight, you catch a cart going by with some remains.
Of all two fellas yesterday.
Red mist.
As you go walking out, one of them nods and goes, "Seems you had some people following you. Don't worry, we got it."
There's some people following us. Don't worry, you got it.
Yeah, I didn't get that part.
They were. We handled it. They didn't seem like the type to be in this ward.
I nod to them in respect, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they just give you a nod and they go, "Sir, have a good day." And they go back to standing guard.
Friends, I'm gonna stay a little back and see if anyone follows us from here on to the building. Is that okay?
Yep.
Sure, just don't lose us.
Yep.
It's just like
And be sure to be there if we get into a fight.
You fire a mean short bow.
just like I just don't say anything, don't acknowledge their opinions at all. waiting for them to get a move on.
And I'd have to move to like into those. I like this little man, even though he's a bit shady.
He makes me chuckle.
Yeah.
Alright, so now in the daytime, it does take a little while to walk because of all the people, but maybe just after half hour, 45 minutes of walking, you manage to finally come up on the docks. And reading the little note that Asir gave you, it did seem a little bit odd for an address. All it said was things like, follow the birds, and
Which
and then the
birds?
word warehouse. Again, it didn't make a lot of sense. As you start getting into the docks, you start noticing above you there's a lot of carrier pigeons going by. And they all seem to be heading down towards the water's edge.
Oh, okay. I was like, I'm not a fucking ranger. But they kind of seem to fly in that direction.
Let's follow the birds then.
Oh, since it's so full and packed and stuff, can I pickpocket some people as I pass by them?
Oh no.
I mean, we're in the reach.
We hear like
part of
screams
town.
behind us.
You want to roll a couple flight of hand checks?
Yeah, I'll do 3.
Shoot.
19, 12, 10.
Ooh, snap.
All right. So from the first two, you're able to cut the coin purse. As for the last one, as you're reaching in someone's bag to grab their money, it seems like they may have had it enchanted with something like an alarm spell. And the second your arm goes in through it, this loud shriek starts going out throughout the crowd.
We just turn around like, oh god.
I
The
like.
rest of us heard it and we just
I point to the guy next to me. It was him.
you put your hand up before you did that, right?
Like if I look at your character portrait, I think I would buy that.
Well, it's under like the shade. You don't know how marvelous I look when it's like under the bright shining sun.
But why are you trying to pickpocket people under the bright shining sun?
It's like super
such
crowded
massive
and you
crowds,
just like
Yeah.
All right. So you managed to pick up a whopping 5 platinum from these guys.
What?
What the hell?
Again, you are in the
pickpocket,
rich
Fate. No, I
As
just
for
shake
the-
him down. I pick him up and shake him. That's
As for the
money
guy
is
that the
rattling
alarm
out
went
of the
off.
bags.
As for the alarm
Sorry?
that went off, some guards do start converging on your point. So do you want to roll a couple high checks for me or tumble checks to get out of the way?
Yeah, it's pretty hard. There's a big
yeah.
crowd.
No, I'll tumble. I'll hide.
Tumble through a crowd.
I'll hide.
Okay.
Here's an appling.
12. But there's a crowd.
Andy's in a cloak.
What's with the +2 bonus?
Yeah. So you do manage to slip away. However, after this, it seems like you might want to reel in the pickpocketing,
Yeah.
especially in the richer districts. Those alarms will probably come more often.
I did have the poor luck.
Yeah, you can roll way better than that.
Yeah.
All right. So as you'll do start getting up to the port now, following those pigeons, it seems like they all are converging on a some kind of warehouse. Unlike the others, this one's actually set apart from them. There's no connecting or shared walls, and there's also no markings on it. There's no name to the building. There's no ownership. Anything. It's just a building by itself. And it looks like the pigeons are fluttering in through like the top eaves, and they all just keep going in and out. Especially once you get outside it, it's just this constant stream of birds going in and out carrying messages.
Ooh. This looks like a command post of some sort.
Should we say who sent us? Oh,
Outside, there's no guards, but there's a single door to get in. If you want to do a quick walk around the building,
Yeah.
There's no, especially on the bottom floor, there's no windows, and there are no other exits apart from that single door.
How big did you say is the building?
It looks like some kind of warehouse. However, there's no markings on as to the ownership or what kind
Yeah,
of
no,
warehouse
like
it
just
is.
size-wise, like in meters or something, or feet.
Oh
if you
yeah, make
want.
it hard for me then.
Yeah,
if we're gonna
meters, or
go
DC meters if you want to do that.
DC meters. If we're gonna go with yards, I'd say it'd be something like 75 yards across, 100 yards long.
Holy shit, this is massive.
That's a big house.
How high is it?
It's just 2 stories from what it looks like.
Just 2-story. All right.
Garzhvog would like to walk up and knock on the door.